Imagine a world where every individual nurtures their mental well-being with the same dedication as their physical health. The mind, a complex and beautiful entity, determines how we perceive and interact with the world. It shapes our thoughts, emotions, and actions. In the whirlwind of daily life, mental health often takes a back seat. The relentless pursuit of productivity can lead us to overlook the subtle signs of mental fatigue and distress. But consider this: the mind, like any part of the body, needs care and attention. Mental health issues are not anomalies, they are part of the human experience. From anxiety to depression, these conditions are more common than one might think, touching the lives of countless individuals across the globe. Acknowledging the need for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Therapy, counseling, and self-care are powerful tools that can restore balance and enhance mental resilience. By addressing our mental health, we unlock a potential for deeper connections, improved emotional stability, and greater joy in life. Every step taken towards mental health awareness and support contributes to breaking down the barriers of stigma. It fosters a community where compassion prevails and where every individual has the support to thrive. Embrace the journey towards mental well-being. Remember, taking care of your mind is not a luxury, it is essential. Cherish it, nurture it, and watch as it transforms every aspect of your life.
Leaves rustling gently in the breeze. As you tread this path, it's easy to see the analogy it shares with the journey of mental health. This is not a journey with a clear beginning and end, but rather a continuous path that we walk, often without a map. Mental health struggles are universal, touching lives silently across the globe. Each person's path is uniquely their own, marked by distinct challenges and victories. It's important to recognize that while our routes may differ, the essence of the journey connects us all. In discussing mental health, we open up about our personal struggles, but also, importantly, our triumphs. It's these stories of resilience and lessons learned that weave a tapestry of collective understanding and support. By sharing, we not only lighten our own load, but also light the way for others. As we venture into this forest of the unknown, remember every step is a part of the journey. It started subtly, like a whisper in the back of my mind. At first, it was just the occasional feeling of being overwhelmed. Things that once brought joy, like meeting friends or diving into a beloved hobby, began to feel like monumental tasks. The laughter and lightness that used to fill those moments started to dim, replaced by an unshakable tiredness that sleep never seemed to cure. I remember one evening specifically, I was sitting at my kitchen table surrounded by the cheerful chatter of my family, yet I felt utterly alone. It was as if I was watching my life through a foggy lens, unable to connect with the warmth right in front of me. This disconnect wasn't loud or violent. It was silent and creeping, making it all the more confusing. As days turned into weeks, the whispers grew into a constant hum. I found myself snapping at minor inconveniences, my thoughts spiraling into a cascade of worries about things that might never happen. It was during one particularly restless night that I realized these weren't just bad days. They were signs I had been too dismissive of, chalking them up to stress or a bad mood. Denial played its part well. Admitting that something was wrong felt like a defeat, a crack in the armor I had so carefully built around myself. But the truth was, ignoring these signs was the real defeat. It took a conversation, a simple, honest conversation with a friend who noticed the changes in me, to face the reality of my situation. The conversation was a turning point. It wasn't dramatic, but in its simplicity, it was profound. It was then I realized that these feelings didn't define me. They were just part of my journey, a journey that required attention and care. Acknowledging the whisper was my first step toward clarity. Asking for help felt like climbing a mountain. It's a daunting ascent, each step heavy with the weight of uncertainty and the fear of judgment. But as the climb begins, there's a whisper of hope that perhaps at the peak, the view might just be worth the struggle. In the early days of my journey, the signs that I needed help were there, but admitting it felt almost impossible. The thought of sitting in a therapist's office sharing my darkest thoughts was intimidating. What would they think of me? Could they really help? These questions swirled in my mind, creating a barrier that seemed insurmountable. But the reality of struggling alone was even harder. Days became a series of challenges. Smiles were harder to come by, and the world felt like a much darker place. That's when I realized that reaching out was not just an option, but a necessity. Taking that first step to seek help was transformative. I remember my first therapy session, nervous, palms sweaty, heart racing. But the person sitting across from me wasn't there to judge. They were there to help, to listen, to understand. It wasn't about fixing me. It was about supporting me on my journey to healing. Support came in forms I never expected. In the maze of my mental health journey, the guiding lights were often the ones closest to me, and sometimes they were from corners I least anticipated. When the path grew rugged and the nights longer, it was the collective strength of friends, family, and my community that often held the torch high. There's something profoundly impactful about a simple message from a friend checking in, or a family member sitting beside you, not to fix anything, but just to be there. These gestures, small as they might seem, stitched patches of hope into my days. I recall one evening a friend showed up at my door unexpectedly. They didn't come bearing solutions or grand gestures. They brought along a board game, a laugh, and their presence. That night, we didn't talk about my struggles or fears. We simply played, laughed, and for a few hours, I was whisked away from the storm inside my mind. This distraction, this normalcy, was a subtle yet powerful form of support. Then there was my local community group, which I joined rather hesitantly. Here I found people who were threading their own tapestries of challenges, yet so eager to give support. This mutual exchange of understanding and experiences became a weekly source of strength. Each meeting, a reminder that none of us walk this path alone. It's essential to remember the power of reaching out. Sometimes asking for help seems daunting, a mountain too steep. But every time we allow someone to walk with us, we build stronger bridges over our troubled waters. Encourage yourself to lean on these supports, to build and nurture them. They can be your lifeline, your sounding board, and at times, your reason to smile on a dreary day. Every message, every hug, every listening ear turned the tide in my favor. Not every day was a step forward. Some days I stumbled. In the landscape of mental health, the path isn't always linear, and it's paved with both progress and setbacks. Understanding that these regressions are not failures, but part of the journey is crucial. Setbacks can look different for everyone. For me, there were days when old anxieties resurfaced, or unexpected events sent my progress spiraling. There were moments when the strategies and coping mechanisms I had learned seemed to fail me. It felt like being lost in a familiar place, disorienting and frustrating. But here's what each of those setbacks taught me. Resilience isn't about avoiding falls. It's about learning to stand up again, each time a little stronger. It involved reevaluating my strategies, seeking additional support when needed, and most importantly, being patient with myself. The journey of healing isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. One particular setback comes to mind. After months of steady progress, a significant personal loss set me back to what felt like square one. The grief was overwhelming, and it seemed to undo all the hard work I had put into my mental health. But with time, I began to see this not as a derailment, but as a deep, albeit painful part of my human experience. It was an opportunity to apply the coping skills I had learned in therapy, to lean on my support network, and to grow in empathy and emotional depth. This process of overcoming helped forge a new layer of strength within me. It taught me that my capacity to heal and adapt was greater than I had ever imagined. And perhaps most importantly, it reminded me that healing is not just about recovering what was lost, but also about gaining new strengths. Each setback taught me something vital about my strength. They showed me that the journey of mental health is not just about fighting against the darkness, but also about recognizing and nurturing the inner light that persists through every storm. Over time, the journey sculpted me. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, I found myself navigating through a landscape that was once alien and intimidating. Every challenge faced, every hurdle overcome, and every moment of despair turned gradually into a stepping stone towards self-discovery and understanding. In this journey, the insights gained are as diverse as they are profound. I learned, for instance, that resilience isn't about being unbreakable. It's about being flexible, learning to adapt and bounce back with greater wisdom. I realized that vulnerability isn't a weakness, but a courageous acceptance of one's own human limits. It invites compassion, both from within and from others. Understanding myself better allowed me to connect more deeply with the world around me. I began to see that everyone has their struggles, often hidden beneath the surface. This realization fostered a newfound empathy and a desire to support others, just as I had been supported. Moreover, the journey through mental health challenges taught me the importance of setting boundaries and the value of saying no, which is as crucial as the generosity of saying yes. It taught me that self-care is not selfish, it is essential. This understanding was liberating. It allowed me to prioritize my well-being and, in doing so, become more present for others. As I embraced the growth that came from each phase of my journey, I also embraced change. Change, I learned, is not something to fear or resist, but to accept as a natural part of life and growth. It is through change that we shed old skins and reveal new facets of ourselves, ready to face the world with a clearer vision and a stronger heart. In reflection, this journey has been less about battling against a part of me and more about learning to coexist and harmonize with all parts of my being. I was not just surviving, I was learning to thrive. The path ahead is still unfolding. Managing mental health is an enduring journey. It doesn't quite end, instead it evolves. It's about maintaining a balance, recognizing when we're tilting, and knowing how to right ourselves. As we look ahead, the importance of being proactive about our mental health cannot be overstated. One of the most vital strategies is establishing a robust support system. This means nurturing relationships with people who understand and support your journey. These are the friends, family members, or therapists who not only listen, but provide the kind of support that empowers you. It's also about setting boundaries that protect your mental space. Another key aspect is continuous learning and self-awareness. Understanding the triggers, the signs of a downturn, and the strategies that have helped in the past can equip us to handle future challenges more effectively. This might mean regular therapy sessions, meditation, or simply engaging in activities that bring joy and relaxation. Moreover, adapting a lifestyle that supports mental health is crucial. This encompasses everything from diet and exercise to sleep and recreation. Physical health and mental health are deeply intertwined, and nurturing both is essential for overall well-being. It's also important to remember that setbacks are part of the journey. They do not define failure. They are merely indicators that our approach might need adjustment. The resilience comes from learning and adapting, not from never faltering. We are all travelers in this journey of life, and in our travels, hope is our most precious companion. As we draw near the close of this shared journey, it's essential to remember the power of hope and the strength it gives us. Hope is not just a fleeting whisper in the dark, it is a loud proclamation that tomorrow holds infinite possibilities. Each step forward on this path, no matter how small, is a step towards a brighter future. In the tapestry of life, every thread of experience contributes to our unique story. Your struggles, though uniquely yours, resonate with universal themes of challenge and resilience. By sharing these stories, we weave a stronger, more supportive community. We are not alone in our challenges, and there is profound strength in that unity. Let's consider the importance of continuing to move forward. Progress in mental health is not always linear. There are days filled with light, and there are days when the shadows seem long and unyielding. But each morning brings a new opportunity to try again, to reach out for support, and to extend support to others. Breaking the stigma surrounding mental health is crucial. It begins with conversations, with openness, and with the courage to voice our own experiences. When we speak up, we give others the permission to do the same. This ripple effect can transform whispers into dialogues, and dialogues into movements.
Scene script. Imagine a world where every click helps shape the future of content. If this video sparked your curiosity, consider sharing it to spread the knowledge. Enjoyed it? Hit like? Not yet subscribed? Now's the perfect time to join our journey. Until next time, thank you and stay curious.